Hello everybody and welcome back to the Nonsense Retrospective. I'm here, as always, your host Rick. Joining me, as always, is our other host, Devon.
You will address me by my rightful title of Pokemon Master.
Ah, the true Pokemon Master.
I went to the Plague of Gripe School of Pokemon.
Oh boy, yeah. What type of STD did you get?
Pokerus.
Yeah. Well, to your credit, it makes you grow faster.
Yeah, it does. It helps.
But yeah, in case that's not spoiled what we're doing, today's retrospective is on Pokemon. But before we get into that, we're going to start with our time-honoured, nonsense, asinine hypothetical. And I've got one for you, and it's a really simple one. What is your zombie plan?
We briefly kind of touched on it before the podcast. Sorry, peeling back the curtain a little bit here. But, you know, I don't have a zombie plan because that's a stupid thing to plan for because zombies aren't real and never will be. You know, people always like to point to that weird mushroom thing that can take over ants, and it's like, no, it's not really a realistic threat. Besides, we're going to die within the next 80 years due to the, environmental issues that we're fundamentally causing.
And also the fact that we'll be over 100 by then.
Well, I meant humanity, not just us specifically.
Okay.
Possible we could reach 110. Not very fucking likely, but it's possible.
Not with my lifestyle.
You can always change.
I'm giving it a bit of side eye, but yeah. So your zombie plan is to reject the false reality of zombies and substitute the real reality of no zombies.
If I had to actually put on a spot and say what's my zombie plan, it's I will grab my bow, I will grab my 10 arrows, and I will go and find somewhere that is relatively fortified and hopefully has food. I might even go to my place of work. Who knows?
Yeah, supermarket's actually a pretty good place to stock up as long as you don't run into other zombies, which, as we've learned in the pandemic, is very difficult.
Well, again, bow and arrow. It's not the best thing in the world, but I imagine I'm slightly more prepared than most people in the UK. This is that weird thing when it comes to zombie apocalypses. Whenever you have a show or a film based on it, it's always set in America, because America is always going to be one of those where you can just randomly find a gun, which makes that problem slightly easier to deal with.
Yeah, it does.
You need three things for survival. You need a way to protect yourself, you need food, you need water. Hopefully don't get sick as well, but that one's kind of up in the air. You need shelter. Your way to survive a zombie apocalypse is how you survive in the fucking wilderness full goddamn stop, really. So if you're really that paranoid about it, go on some survival courses.
Yeah, except instead of tigers coming after you, it's zombies.
Be fucking impressed if a tiger came after you in the UK.
I mean, it's just as unlikely as an actual zombie coming for you, so there is that.
No, I think zombies are way further down the totem pole of things likely to attack you in the UK. At least tigers are real, and there are some here.
Yeah, and they're probably not too happy about being here either.
No, I don't think anyone's happy about being here. Have you seen our weather?
Man, it knocks me for a loop whenever I see a blue sky, because I'm so used to seeing Yorkshire Grey when I look up. A colour that's so ubiquitous and reliable, they might as well put it on the Dulux chart. But yeah, do you have a hypothetical for me?
I do. Pokemon has done some weird things with its games.
It has.
Including doing one of the weirdest crossovers ever with Nobunaga's Ambition.
Yep.
So my question to you is, what is your dream Pokemon crossover?
My dream Pokemon crossover would most likely be a tactical RPG like Disgaea.
Okay, play Pokemon Conquest.
Okay, like how many party members do you get?
10?
Okay.
It might not be 10, I think it's 6 actually. It's been a while. I think it's 6 because that makes sense because Pokemon.
Sweet.
So you got 6 Pokemon on your side, but it's also, you got the overworld map as if it's a turn-based RPG, like invasion sim of a map. So you've got 6 people on a map, but you need more than 6 good units if you want to actually take over the map and win.
Well, you've sold it to me.
The only downside is you have to beat the story first, and then you have to do everything again from the beginning, but it's slightly different because you get different warlords and different scenarios.
But yeah, I'm going to move into today's meaty meat of the episode. Today we are doing a retrospective of Pokemon, Pocket Monsters, but this time we're looking at the anime rather than the games. So normally we bring up our previous experience. We went over this for the games a bit already, but because we're focusing on the anime, and there's a couple of game tie-ins already, but when I first saw this, it was on SMTV, so that's showing my age, and then when it was Ant and Dec and Cat Dealey introducing Pokemon, and they had their own little Poke Rap where they told people not to be a Jigglypuff.
That seems like mildly homophobic.
I know, right? What was your early experience with the Pokemon anime?
I'm pretty sure I watched the first generation, but I watched it on like Sky 1.
Okay.
Or it might have been Channel 4. I don't know. It was a channel, and it can't have been an expensive channel because that's not how my family be.
Yeah, I think it was on ITV when it was really new. Like, this is back in the day when Digimon was also new, so...
I don't think I ever watched it when it was brand new, I think. Depends. It came out in 96, didn't it?
I think a bit later than that.
I don't really remember that much from the anime because the anime is not as good as the games, which is saying something because the games are shit nowadays.
But then again, the early games were all in pixels, and you had to expand a lot on what was shown because of the limitations of the original games versus what you could actually show in later games when they upgraded the fidelity of the models, even just to coloured pixel art.
I mean, the worst thing about the fucking games was the fact whenever a Pokemon came out with its Pokeball, it sounded like a monster going...
Yeah, they still keep up to that pretty much. Like, some of the new cries are a little more high fidelity and a little bit more melodic.
Well, the weirdest one is Pikachu.
The only one that says anything is Pikachu, and then they made Eevee say something as well now. Eevee now says Bui.
Okay.
But yeah, the anime is divided into seasons, but we're mostly going to be talking about series in terms of what generation they follow. So the first series follows Ash, Pikachu, Misty, and Brock, and they tease some Generation 2 Pokemon as early as the first episode with Ho-Oh initially, and then they introduce Togepi as something that the characters fight over, and Misty wins because, you know, they have to make Misty important.
I mean, everyone knocks Misty, but everyone seems to forget that Misty is a gym leader. She knows her shit.
Oh, she definitely is.
They don't show it very often in the anime, but she is meant to be quite knowledgeable.
I like how she wins against Ash by being friends with Pikachu, and Pikachu refusing to fight her Pokemon because Pikachu knows that he would rock their faces.
Pikachu should have a full sense of confidence because he managed to beat a ground type which should be immune to him.
Yeah, using a sprinkler and an electric attack, which, again, the Onix should be immune to.
It's one of those, even though he's fucking been doused by water, he's still ground. He is made of dirt, a well-known insulator.
Yep, I think what they tried to play up was he had a horn on his head.
He's still made of goddamn rock!
Yeah. Something that does happen during the first season of anime is the first movie got released, and that's one that I didn't see it at the cinema, even though I was around conscious and a fan at that point.
Oh, I got a story about the movie.
Go ahead.
My mum and dad didn't want to take me to see it because my sibling didn't want to see it. It was like, oh, how am I going to be able to see this goddamn... I can't go to cinema on my own. I'm a baby. And a family friend, who I won't name, just went, oh, I'll take you to see it. I was like, hey! So this family friend just turned up at my house one day. My mum and dad knew, obviously, and went, oh, you ready to go to the cinema? I'm like, yeah! Walked to the cinema, went to the cinema, saw the film. He spoilt the ending for me about 5 minutes before it happened. But whatever. And yeah, but this was back in a day and age where an older family friend coming around to take your kid to the cinema was not considered weird.
Yeah.
Which is kind of depressing.
These days, the only way that's not weird is if you're already essentially a babysitter.
Or an uncle or cousin or something.
Like, my mum semi-babysit for our family friend's neighbour kid. She'll take him to do random things, like down the park, and they'll go fishing.
But here's a key difference in the story, Rick. Your mum is a she.
Yep. But after the movie, you get Ash going on the Pokemon League, setting up a trope for the series. He loses the Pokemon League.
You sent the cue card to me and you were like, oh, I'm just going to mention whether or not Ash wins the league or not. Just fucking tell the audience straight up now. He wins it once, and even then, no one cared by that point.
Yeah.
Dude, there is a really cool rap battle between Yugi Moto and Ash Ketchum. I shared it to you when it was brand new. I don't know if you ever watched it, but it was really good. And one of the lines Yugi uses, when it was pretty much his opening line was, champion since season 1. Yugi has always been the top dog's bollocks, whereas Ash has always never been able to achieve anything. Like, fuck, man. In the first series, pretty much every single one of his fucking badges wasn't even earned via battling. I think he technically got Blaine's one after a rematch, but even then it was like, you had to do it twice, fucker.
And it was because of his bullshit Charizard that was OP.
I don't blame Charizard for not wanting to follow Ash's orders, because Ash is shit.
Yeah, that's the thing. Ash gets all 3 of the starters because they're all iconic characters to draw and to market. Of the 3, the only one to actually evolve is his Charmander into a Charizard. And a bit of gameplay and story integration. If you have a traded Pokemon that outlevels you, you can't control it. Like, it's not normally a thing that's an issue for things that you already have and already own. They always obey you. But in the games, if something that you don't own outgrows you, you need a badge to prove that you're hot shit. And since Ash didn't really earn his badges, that's another piece of gameplay and story integration for why Charizard was a dickhead.
When he gets curb stomped by Blaine, later on he helps Blaine by doing some shit to stop the volcano from actually erupting or something, and Blaine goes, oh, you've done a great service, young man. As a reward, and Ash just jumps on the gun and goes, you're going to give me the badge? And he went, no, I'll let you challenge for it again, but I'm not giving it to you.
Yeah.
Because Ash just assumes by doing a good deed he's earned a badge.
Yeah, because it's happened to him at least twice already. I think the first one he actually earns is from Lieutenant Surge.
Man, do you want to talk about Lieutenant Surge for a moment and how that starts the trend of deep, disturbing Pokemon lore? Because in Pokemon Generation 1, Lieutenant Surge is a fucking veteran from the Great Pokemon war.
Yeah, he is. It gets dark. And the other thing is, even in Generation 1, you got things like Farfetch'd, which are hunted nearly to extinction because they're tasty.
Yeah, just like the fucking giant turtles. Or were they tortoises?
Yeah, the Galapagos things.
I like how they needed to bring one back to the UK, but every time it never made it, so like, it's just too delicious, man. We had to eat it on the way. Fucking dicks.
So, the next season we had was a complete filler arc. It was on the Orange Islands.
Okay, but I love the concept of the Orange Island Challenge.
Yeah.
Like, they kind of brought it back for Sun and Moon?
Yeah, so Sun and Moon was a lot like the Orange Islands in terms of these challenges are challenges and not just gym battles.
Although that being said, they still culminated because they're video games in just fucking, here's a Pokemon battle, do it.
Oh, totally, but you still gotta do the little bullshit puzzle.
I liked it. It was really dumb shit. It was like, not whoever could knock down the most cans wins. It's so much more interesting to me than just a battle, especially if you play the Pokemon games. The only thing you need to win against NPCs is a type advantage.
Or just numbers. You can have a disadvantage, and if you got enough stat boosts, you're gonna win.
Well, I don't know about you, but with Pokemon Blue and Red, the only Pokemon I had that was worth a damn was my starter, and it was level 100, so nothing was a problem.
Yeah.
And then you farm rare candies with Missing No.
And that's when you get a full team. But they sub out Brock for a new character called Tracy, and Tracy is the secondary character for the next couple of movies. Brock goes and I believe he joins the local professor.
Yeah, he really wants to fuck her, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. And then when he rejoins Ash and the gang, it's like, no, she's a monster.
It's one of those, I always like it when the perverted character gets a weird... It's like the Homer Simpson thing when he goes to hell. It's like, oh, you like donuts, do you? Have all the donuts in the world! Except in this instance, it actually works. Oh, you want pussy, do you? Here's pussy. But she will be tsundere.
Yeah, she was too much woman for Brock.
Which, good. I think every woman should be too much for Brock. I think that should be the flaw in his character.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's one of those. If a woman is too much woman for the womanizer, that's a fun trait.
Yeah, because fuck the womanizer, and not in the fun way.
Ash somehow wins the Orange League, but that's because it was a filler and they didn't expect the series to go on super long anyway.
It's also not a real championship, so it don't matter. Whenever they called in the champion of champions, so they get the champion from each region, like, okay, everybody have an expedition, let's see who's the best. They're not going to send an invite to the fucking Orange League, prick.
Yeah, it's the fucking short bus of champions.
Wow. You're right, but wow.
Next up, we have Johto. This is pretty much where I dropped off.
I watched most of Johto, so I kind of get it. But again, all of the defining moments for Ash's team is in Season 1.
Yeah. I saw the episode where Ash and Misty get a Pimpin Pokeball from Kurt, and it's like really good at catching water Pokemon, and they see a Totodile. They both throw a ball, and it hits behind a bush, and they don't know who's got it, so they have to battle to see who gets the Totodile.
Do we want to talk very quickly, because this is the first proper actual transition to a new area, how every time Ash moves to a new region, he goes, I'm getting rid of all of my Pokemon except for Pikachu. Now bear in mind, the only reason he did this in Johto is because he bumped into Gary, and Gary said he got rid of all his Pokemon except his starter because he wanted a challenge. And Ash was like, well, I've got to do it too then, because Ash can't come up with anything on his own. And Ash gets rid of all his Pokemon except for Pikachu. Pikachu should be level 100,
Yep.
And yet he gets curb stomped by like a level 5 fucking Weedle because it's a new zone.
Oh, it's a million times worse in later seasons, though. Because, like, going into Johto, yeah, he might be, like, level 50 odd.
It would make sense considering he got beat in that tournament.
Yeah, but, like, later on, he should be really high level, like, at least the 70s.
Going back a little bit, do you remember the time when we met Better Ash?
Oh, yeah, that was it. What's his name? Richie, and he's got an Ash with a hat on, or cowlick or whatever, like a little quiff.
I can't remember. I just remember you met this guy, and he's like, yeah, here's my Pikachu. It's more of a badass than yours. Here's the rest of my team. It's your team, but better. Also, I put little stickers on my Pokeballs because I actually care about them.
Yeah.
Also, I give them names. They're not just called Pikachu.
Yeah, I think his Pikachu is called Sparky. I think he makes it one round further than Ash does.
Yeah, I believe he's the one who knocks Ash out the tournament.
Yeah, I think he does. And he makes it one round further. And
I thought he got all the way to the finals and got beaten by Lance.
Alright, okay.
It might be. It's been a fucking while, bro.
Fair enough. There's a million things that could have happened. Might be misremembering because this is 20 odd years ago.
It's all on Netflix if we want a refresher. Maybe that should be our next non-stop destination after Steven Universe ends in 3 years.
Oh boy. But yeah, Johto season keeps Tracy, as far as I'm aware anyway.
Brock doesn't come back until May.
Which is next. In Hoenn, Brock is back. Misty subs out for May. May's little brother joins.
Yeah, that fucking anorak.
Yep. And this starts the trope of the female protagonist being the companion that lasts for a while. Mei wants to be a coordinator, which I think is what they call the contest users.
Man, I really miss that fucking system.
Yeah. Having a secondary system that's not just fight, kill, beat up was nice.
It also gave Jessie a chance to shine because she was really good at that shit. She had to pretend she wasn't Jessie because she was on the most wanted list or some shit, but...
Yeah, it was a nice way to give people like Team Rocket a secondary avenue to exist, because we know Team Rocket are shit at battles, but if you give them something that they can shine at without being villainous, that's cute. It's a nice bit of character development, and it's a lot like James actually being a decent Pokemon owner, if not a good trainer, because he shows his Pokemon a lot of affection, even if they're ones that are not necessarily typically cute.
Isn't this the season where they get Wobbuffet as well?
Yeah, so apparently that was a reference to a Japanese comedian.
Oh, fair enough.
I think even the original design was a reference to a comedian, but the fact that he keeps popping up and going, "Wow, perfect," is a reference to some kind of sketch.
Oh, fair enough. Not going to get it over here because we never saw the source material, but fair enough, Japan. At least you're not doing a Digimon and fucking shoehorning in incest storylines.
Oh boy.
Reference to last week's episode, so if you didn't watch that might have seemed out the fucking blue.
We now have 4 seasons per generation because the actual games keep getting further and further apart at this point.
You're right, yeah.
This is the generation when we first started getting remakes, so they have another year worth of anime to make. So they made an entire season out of the 3rd game's worth of content, the Battle Frontier. So like having Yellow or Crystal have an entire anime season's worth of shit.
That being said, I remember just after Johto finished, I've got the DVDs somewhere of this is what's happening in Kanto while everyone's fucked off to Johto and Hoenn.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe one of the episodes is straight up Misty going back to Cerulean Gym and going, "Hey sisters, I'm home," and she goes, "What the fuck has happened to the gym?" Because all the sisters are depressed or some shit, so they're not looking after the Pokemon or the gym.
I seem to remember that. Weren't the Pokemon just all floating depressed?
I don't remember that. Something was depressed in the gym, and Misty had to fix it by being her cheerful self.
But yeah, after Series 3, we get Generation 4, and that's Sinnoh.
Here comes the problem, Rick. I know Dawn is in this one.
Yep.
I don't know fuck all else, because this is the point where I've seen fuck all in the anime.
I know Dawn essentially is Mei, but better in terms of the character that she replaces, i.e. the main character from the game, has a mother who actually was a contest coordinator and like a champion of it as well. So there is precedent for that character wanting to do that thing. Unfortunately, Mei also wanted to do the thing, so she's always going to feel like a knockoff of Mei. I know she's got a Pachirisu, which is like the squirrel Pikachu of this area.
Every single zone has their own, I'm using massive fucking air quotes here, Pikachu. Pachirisu is probably one of the better versions of a knockoff Pikachu, because you can tell it's meant to invoke Pikachu's design or core design, but it's also completely different looking in body shape. Like, it's a squirrel for fucking one instead of a rat.
Yeah. So it's got the circle cheeks and it's electric type. That's what most of them are, but I think it's my favourite one of them from the design point of view. Unfortunately, because it's shit, it doesn't get much use. Although there was that one, I think it was a Korean competitive battler, Sejun Park, who took a Pachirisu to a doubles battle, and he won the doubles battle with the Pachirisu because he was absorbing a super powerful dragon move with a Pachirisu with Follow Me, taunting the opponent and tank stancing it, and then eating a berry that cuts magic damage.
Fair enough. Like, I don't watch competitive battling. I think competitive battling is stupid, but fair enough.
I didn't watch it, but I know about this meme because someone drew a comic of it, and it's this Pachirisu just tanking it on the chin and just eating this berry nonchalantly. Both of the opponents are looking in horror, and so is the Pachirisu's friend.
Yeah, here's another problem with Pikachu knockoffs. Everything after Pikachu doesn't get an Evo.
Yeah, that's the big problem with it. So, in terms of usefulness, the only really good Pikachu knockoff is Mimikyu.
Yeah, Mimikyus are fucking bullshit.
Yeah, they're so good!
But that's because the meta shifted on... I couldn't tell you which generation because I don't follow it, but there was a certain generation that went, no, fuck everything, speed and power, that's all you need.
That was Gen 3 that started that, and Gen 6 is where they introduced the fairies because dragons were becoming too OP.
To be fair, they had 2 weaknesses, Ice and Other Dragon, which is not a very good thing to do. Dragon is one of those where it's strong against a lot of stuff and it bollocks.
I do think the one thing they could have done is just made Steel another one of its weaknesses. Like, that would have been a really easy fix really early on.
Well, Steel is now a fairy counter, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. But yep, now we get on to Series 5. We get 4 seasons of Unova. Now, there were actually 2 real games in this season. season, so they do have a lot of source material for this at least. The whole cast, apart from Ash, is subbed out. We got Cylon in for Brock. He's one of the first gym leaders in the first game. Like Brock, he's got weird eyes. Brock never opens his eyes. Cylon doesn't have sclera. He's got flesh eyes, which is a really weird thing to look at. The girl character is Iris. She's a optional gym leader, and you only get her if you have Pokemon White.
Oh no, this character, she looks like a little girl, right? She's got dark skin.
Yep.
I don't know what it is with the fucking Pokemon community, but they do fucked up stuff to that character.
Oh no.
Like, I browse a lot of Reddits and I scroll through a lot of stuff. Most of them are not safe for work, and I'm just like, that character does not look like they should be in that situation. Scroll past.
Yep.
But they do the same shit with May and Dawn, and they're not legal either.
Oh yeah, they're fucking 10. No.
Like, there's some characters where they've obviously aged them up because they're taller and they've got, you know...
Yeah, they're MILF shaped.
But it's still like, you've got this artistic talent, you're clearly not 10 drawing this, so therefore you got no excuse.
Yeah, why are you putting that 10-year-old character's head on this MILF body?
Cynthia exists in fucking 4!
Yeah, she's like the best champion.
Although that said, I do like the only MILF that comes close to Cynthia is, what's her name from Sun and Moon?
Oh, Lusamine.
Yeah, there you go, Lusamine, that sounds right. She's blonde.
You're forgetting about Olivia then. She's a very good looking lady.
Yeah, but she seems too up her own arse a little bit.
No, she's not. She's the opposite. You even see her room and it's full of stuffed toys that are the kind of thing that lonely people have.
I don't like that type of thing. She's too soft. I want a woman that can take fucking charge.
She can physically take charge. It's just she's got a heart of marshmallow.
I don't think so. I think she's a bottom.
I think she's a hugger. But yeah, because we've got Iris instead of the main character, we don't have Hilda. But yeah, the black and white thing is a little bit more egregious, where Ash gets his ass beat constantly in the black and white zones because they try and make a big thing of the black and white era Pokemon being really strong, which again is a bit of gameplay and story integration, that they have good stats and shit move pools. That's the thing they try and do with that generation. Like, even in the game, they try and make it so that this is a retread of Gen 1, in that all of the Pokemon in this game are completely new, apart from like Pikachu and Magikarp.
But that's what I want from new Pokemon games. I want more new shit.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like, the only reason anyone disliked Gen 5 at all is because they had nothing old, whereas I actually think it made for a really good experience because there was exactly 150 new things, and they were, like I say, they were all new. A lot of them were retreads of old tropes.
I don't think that excuses the monkey one, though.
Oh, true.
That trio was lazy.
Oh, speaking of, that's the Pokemon that are both used by and given by the trio of gym leaders that Cylon, the protagonist helper, belong to. So when you beat those gyms, you just get one.
Fair enough, I suppose. I know they evolve via stones, so I guess that's a fair trade.
Yeah. I'd like to say that there would be a fun way to play those characters, but it's not Eevee.
That's the thing. Why didn't they make it another Eevee? Why didn't they have a normal monkey type and just have it evolve via stones? And yeah, granted, the evolved designs wouldn't be that magical when it's just a colour change and fucking different shaped thing on the forehead. But it'd be mildly more interesting than, here's 3 Pokemon, they all have one direct evolution above them. By the way, you need a stone. Fuck off, loser.
Like, I could even forgive it if they had pre-evolution that was just the same thing.
No.
Yeah, fair enough. Because baby Pokemon suck.
They do. All they exist for is to be cute and therefore easily marketable, and then also adds time to the clock when you try to evolve it to get the cool thing.
Yeah, and to obtain them to complete the Pokedex, because they couldn't just make it so that you breed 2 together to get the baby anymore. You have to have some kind of fucking stupid item now.
Buy this incense so it can modify the DNA of the baby in the egg. Why are you trying to breed this baby type? Because I need the Pokedex entry. That is literally the only reason. Please fuck off and give me the incense.
Yeah. I think there's 2 babies that have a purpose.
Togepi gets a pass because it was the first one ever introduced.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't think Togepi really counts as a baby because it is its own thing. Like, I internalize Togepi as something completely different to the other baby types, because the other baby types are like pre-evolutions of things that exist. Then again, this was Gen 2 when you could just breed. Like, this was how you got them in Gen 2, and it was after Gen 2 that they had to add incenses because they already had some that could just do it for free. It's the same reason that they had to implement stupid things for Eevee, where like you got to take it to the Moss Rock, you got to take it to the Ice Rock.
Or you got to level up at night time between these specific hours while also jacking off a magic fairy.
Yeah.
That's how you get a Sylveon, guys. Look it up. It's in Sword and Shield.
Yeah, it is. You got to friend zone your Sylveon.
Don't look up jacking off fairies.
Oh. The next season is Kalos. Personal note, this is the one Pokemon generation where I really loved all 3 starters. Ash gets his Ash Greninja, which is, I think, the first time he's had a specific form for his own Pokemon.
What do you mean?
So he's had normal Pokemon the entire time, so has everyone else. This is the first time that he's had essentially his own personal Mega Evolution that's unique to Ash.
I thought you meant like the Greninja had a fucking, I don't know, a fucking missing eye or some shit.
He gets his own little mini transformation where he puts his shuriken on his back and like he gets like a hat or something.
Just wasn't sure what you meant because I'm out of my depth with the anime at this point because I didn't watch any of it. The last anime Pokemon I watched was the Pokemon Red Adventures, which is only 4 episodes and it was great.
Yeah.
Basically, Ash is the problem.
Yeah, the Red Adventure was really good. Like, I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, and it was also short, which played in its favour.
But yeah, this time he's joined by Serena, who is the female main character from Gen 6. She is thirsty as all hell and does her best to muscle in on Ash at all times. Really funny, but also kind of cute because she's 10.
They're both 10, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Ash is a 20-year-old in a 10-year-old's body.
Yeah, he's one of those. He's mentally both 20 and 7.
Like, because canonically he's been in every single fucking region and done every single tournament, but he's not aged a day.
Yeah. Ash also gets an electric senpai. The electric gym leader from the zone joins them, and his OC little sister also joins because you need a little sister, apparently.
If this was Kalos, that was in the game as well.
Was she in the game?
I believe so. Like, they make a point of them being twins.
Okay.
I might be misremembering, but I definitely remember the electric gym leader being a twin in Kalos.
Okay, I don't remember that.
You keep describing Season 6, because I can't input while I Google that.
They do explore an abandoned arc from the games where they were going to have a Pokemon Z, but they ended up not doing that, so they still did the story where they gave the little sister the Zygarde cell, because obviously Zygarde is the thing that's meant to be Pokemon Z because it's a snake that makes a Z, compared to the deer with horns that make an X, and the wyvern that has 2 wings and a tail that makes a Y.
Why the fuck did I know that he had a sister? Because apparently she's not in the game. What's going on? I never watched the fucking cartoon, that's for damn sure.
You might have seen screenshots from the cartoon on the universe.
Maybe, I don't know. Weird. He looks like a fucking miniature version of Doc Ock.
He does a bit. He's got his back tentacles. Ash loses the Pokemon League again.
Shocker.
But this time he gets close.
Who cares? It doesn't matter how close you get if you lose, prick.
Yeah, it was hyped up that he might actually win this time. Google kept feeding me things as he was going through the motions, and then he loses. But that all changes in Series 7.
Yeah, but also he's the only person who turns up with any league experience, because there isn't a Lug. A Lug?
There isn't a Luke.
There isn't a league in Smoonland yet.
Yeah, so that's a plot point in the games as well.
It's so fucking disappointing that after you do all the Orange Island-esque things, it's like, no, we're going to go back to a boring old league system.
Yeah, but I kind of appreciate it, but what I really wish they'd have done is combine what they ended up doing where you defend your title with what they do in Gen 8, but you have like an actual league of people from the universe where you just fight in a knockout tournament and then you defend. The animation style changes in this series. It's a lot more blobby.
I've seen screenshots of Ash in this series and he looks awful.
Yep.
I don't think any other series has had such a drastic change in art style to make you go, oh, Ash looks fucking weird.
Yeah, it's really odd. He goes to school.
What?
Yeah, he goes to school.
Okay.
Yeah, so Ash goes to Pokemon school.
He's been doing this for so long and now he needs to go to school to learn how to Pokemon.
Yeah. And he has some classmates who are all like trial captains from Sun and Moon. Kiawe, Lana, Sophocles, and Mallow. And also Lily, who's the non-combatant buddy from Smoon, who's the daughter of Lusamine.
Yeah, and you still her Pokemon because you want the legendary.
Yeah. Although by that point, her Pokemon has evolved and is beyond her control. And she's like, oh, calm it down. And you're like, Master Ball, dude.
Who uses a Master Ball on the normal legendary? That's a chump move.
Ever since like Gen 4. But yeah, like I said, in this one, Ash wins the Pokemon League. And like you said, it's because there wasn't one before this.
None of the fans cared anymore.
No. If he doesn't win the league from now on, it just means that he's peaked.
He's plateaued.
Yeah.
Oh no, peak's even worse because that implies it's going down straight away.
Yeah. So then we go into Series 8, which is currently ongoing. We're 2 seasons deep at the moment. The animation style, from what I've seen, returns mostly to normal.
Good.
Ash is joined by Go. He's an OC who's like a mishmash of Hop and the male main character of Sword and Shield. There hasn't been a Pokemon League yet, so Ash is yet to defend his title. And then we can talk a little bit about the spin-offs. So we've talked a little bit about the Red Adventures, which, as we both have said, are a really good retelling of the games, and they're condensed a lot, so you don't have a lot of padding and a lot of filler like you did with these.
Yeah, but who the fuck wants to watch someone do 8 different gyms back to back?
Yeah. So I think it's, 4 4 episodes long, is it?
It's 4 episodes, and the first episode, I don't think he even gets into a battle with a gym. He might do. It might be the end of the episode. It's either the end of the first episode or beginning of the second episode where he fights Brock.
Yeah, I remember when they showed this, and it showed Brock choosing Pokemon to fight this kid with, because Brock is meant to be one of the stronger gym leaders, but it's giving the nice little detail of, yeah, he doesn't actually just have a level 10 and a level 11 thing to fight.
It explains the games perfectly, because I assume all gym leaders do the same thing. Because when he goes up to Brock, the first question Brock asks is, how many badges do you have? And he says 0. Alright, okay, I'm going to use these Pokemon. Because these guys aren't battling competitively. They're battling to give you a trial to make sure, to basically grow as a trainer.
Yeah, and that's why it's a Pokemon gym and not a Pokemon dojo. It's there to let you train as much as it is to be a speed bump.
Yeah, it also explains how fucking Gary Oak has 10 badges, or 12 badges, whatever stupid thing it was in the show, because there's more than 8 gyms. You just don't go to the other ones.
Yeah, we just don't know where they are. And the other little spin-off there is Poketoon, which I don't think you've seen.
Isn't this the thing you recommended to me the last time we spoke about Pokemon? You said you'd link me and then you didn't.
I don't remember saying it on camera.
You mentioned a show during the Sword and Shield thing, and I went, I've never heard of this. And you went, I'll link you later. And I went, okay. And then you didn't.
Okay, I'm going to have to remember to do so this time then. Aizawa's on the pulse of this. He always knows when a new one's coming out, so I'll see if I can get his links to these as well, because he finds them on YouTube as they get posted on the Japanese YouTube.
Yeah, fair enough, man.
So for people at home wanting to see them, they're on the Japanese Pokemon YouTube.
Are you able to watch it without understanding the language, or is it because it's all Pokemon, it doesn't really matter what's being vocalized?
Some of them are completely voiceless.
Okay, that's cool. That's all I needed to know.
I'll link you the ones that I need to link you, and the ones that are voiceless are voiceless. But yeah, that's for people wanting something to watch. Those are definitely the ones that I would say to watch. But what we're going to do is I'm going to move us on to our last 2 segments. Dev, do you have a best moment from Pokemon?
It's hard to say. I think my defining memory of Pokemon is, I can't remember the exact quote, but I'm gonna do my best, and that is during the Pokemon movie at the end, where Mewtwo says, I see now that the circumstances of one's birth are irrelevant, and it's what one chooses to do with life that is important, or something to that effect, and it's kind of stuck with me since.
Dude, it's really annoying, because I was also going to pick that one.
That's fine, let's double up on it. It's a damn good moment, and it's worthy of that award.
Yeah, it's the kind of thing where you can give that quote and then you just completely undermine yourself by revealing that it's from Mewtwo.
It's that Facebook post all over again where it's like, Martin Luther King didn't say this, Gandhi didn't say this was fucking Mewtwo in Pokemon.
Yeah. If I have to give a different one, then it would probably be like Ash shielding Charmander from the rain so that its tail didn't go out.
Yeah, but we've learnt since that that's a misnomer and that actually doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But yeah, MVP, Rick.
Probably going to have to be Brock, because he's the one that sticks with Ash for the longest.
And also there's that badass moment where they stick a gun in Ash's face and Brock's just standing there with an emotionless face, and you know he's thinking, yeah, do it.
But yeah, who's your MVP?
Because the horniness wins out, I'm going to give it to Cynthia.
Yeah.
Look up that character on your favoured site and have a blast. It's on me.
Yeah, she apparently has a lot of good moments in the season where she's featured as well. She does a bit of stealth mentoring, not just to Ash, but to the new asshole rival. I think his name's Paul, and he's basically a animated version of what Silver was in Gold and Silver.
Oh, right, yeah, that fucking thief.
Yeah, but like specifically one who like keeps on abusing his Pokemon and like whipping them and making sure that they super perform. And yeah, he's there to be a hate sink and for the viewers to hate the guy.
That's the thing, isn't it? Because Gary Oak is a prick, but he's not mean to things that can't stick up for themselves.
Yeah, he's only mean to Ash.
Yeah, but Ash is a bit of a prick.
And then he grows up in between season 1 and 2, and like I think next time you see him, he's like already become an apprentice Pokemon professor, has got his shit together, and Ash is like, oh, I came here ready for insult war, and you've grown up without me, and I feel like a child now.
Well, bear in mind, he takes over the gym for Giovanni eventually.
Oh, eventually, yeah. And he converts it from Earth type to just made of Lego for some fucking reason.
To be fair, though, I kind of like that.
So, thank you for everyone who's made it this far. If you have made it this far, you are our favourite people. If you're watching us on YouTube, by all means, drop us a like, subscribe, all that bullshit. But really, comment to what we want to see. And if you're listening to us on one of our many audio platforms, you can get in touch with us at nonsensereviewuk@gmail.com. That's nonsensereviewuk@gmail.com. And join us again next time on Nonsense Retrospective, Nonsense Review, and now the Non-Stop Review. So it's going to be goodbye from me.
And it's a farewell from me.
Bye!